Hey, hey. What's up? Everybody's here. Everybody wants to know about Trump. Maybe it's because of the thumbnail, because they thought it was him really being arrested and running away. Somebody said that the thumbnail is disrespectful. Sorry about that. The AI is disrespectful. So I apologize. I didn't make it. I didn't prompt it or anything. Somebody just posted it somewhere. Trump getting arrested. So we need that. We need the AI pictures of Hunter Biden getting arrested. And now we just have political chaos, civil war, banking failures, credit. Oh, the credit thing is, I'll tell you about that today. Banking failures, AI takeover. I don't even know which apocalyptic theme to touch on. He didn't get arrested yet, no. And he's not going to be. So today was supposed to be the day, right? And it's a celestially significant time right now because it's the equinox. Although I heard it happened yesterday. I thought it normally happened March 21st. So it is a significant day. But what's going to happen next, huh? With the Trump arrest? Nobody's showing up to protest. But you kind of feel like it's a shame. Like people are victims of intimidation by the government. They feel like they can't even protest, like they're going to get rounded up and put in camps or something. Didn't Trump asked people to protest? I actually think it's a little weird. Like he asked people to protest, and people are like, "Oh no, don't protest. It's a trap." But did Trump set the trap, or are you saying that Trump trapped people last time? I don't even know. But there are some people, brave patriots out on the streets. So I'll show you that. I'll show you. And then I don't know if I'll take some polls. I'm interested in what people are thinking. Squirrel Sniper says, yeah, that's actually a few people are saying that it's going to be 322. That's tomorrow. 322. Somebody asked the significance. That's Skull and Bones Day. And I don't think anybody knows why Skull and Bones has the 322 under their logo. But that's tomorrow, yeah. So if you see that conspiracy theory, like it was going to go down March 22nd, that's Skull and Bones Day. I'll show you the logo so you know. Skull and Bones logo or symbol. I don't know. No, Skull and Bones symbol, Yale. Skull and Bones, by the way, is a secret society at Yale, which has several secret societies, not just Skull and Bones, but Skull and Bones is the most exclusive. I visited the Yale campus. Yeah, what they do is they tap you, they choose you. So they scout out people. Supposedly this works. If you're going to be inducted into one of these secret societies. I knew somebody who was in Skull and Bones for real, genuinely. You get tapped. You might be walking around and somebody taps you or something. And then you're a member, or you decide whether to be a member. And then Skull and Bones, from what I recall, they do a mandatory meeting every year where they get together and talk about things. That's really important that people show up. And it includes members like the Bushes. I could tell you some other famous members of Skull and Bones. I'll show you the logo. 322. Oops. I don't even have a screen up. Let's see. Earth Pond says, isn't it a fraternity? It is in a way, yeah, because it's in a school, but it's commonly referred to as a secret society. So, you want to learn about Skull and Bones? Who was in it? Those people. Yale University. You'll find a surprising number of influential people went to these elite schools. And if you end up in Skull and Bones, they take care of you. Like other members of Skull and Bones will make sure that you're okay and stuff. It's mafia-like. Order 322, and Order 322 is sometimes known as, also known as the Brotherhood of Death. Yeah, they have interesting initiation ceremony. Death, then I could tell you about it, but you might have already heard. So anyway, that's Skull and Bones. That's why people are talking about 322, Skull and Bones Day. So let me tell you, hold on, let's see. Bones Men. Famous. Oh, here, I can ask the AI. Who are some famous members of Skull and Bones Secret Society? Oh, yeah. Clinton. I don't remember if Clinton went to Yale. But one year it was George W. Bush versus John Kerry, and they were both Skull and Bones. Here's the list. This is why AI is nice. Here, we'll show that. Skull and Bones is a secret society at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. Its members are known as Bonesmen. While the organization keeps its membership secret, there have been several prominent individuals who are said to have been members of Skull and Bones. Some of the most famous members include George H.W. Bush, John Kerry, William F. Buckley Jr., conservative, Austin Goolsbee, economist and former advisor to Barack Obama, Robert K. Steele, former CEO of Wachovia, the Undersecretary of the Treasury for Domestic Finance, Stephen Schwarzman, co-founder and CEO of the Blackstone Group, Harold Stanley, co-founder of Morgan Stanley, James Jesus Angleton, chief of counterintelligence for the CIA during the 50s and 60s. And that's in addition to George H.W. Bush, who was also director of the CIA. And Henry Luce, co-founder of Time Magazine and founder of Life Magazine. So these might be rumors, says the AI. But yeah, that's why people are talking about Skull and Bones Day 322. The day Donald Trump gets arrested, but he's not going to be arrested. The reporting goes, he's not going to be arrested till tomorrow. So what do you guys think about the whole thing? I think like he might be guilty of different things. There's a question about the statute of limitations. So I want to go into that. There's a question legitimately, seems like, about the statute of limitations, like it was a long time ago. And then there's a question of, even if he is guilty, a lot of people think he shouldn't have been indicted, including me, even if he is guilty, which if you dig around, he's probably guilty of something. But I think they should leave him alone and just run against him instead of doing this thing, which is making people crazy. It really is making people crazy. I was tuned into a Twitter Spaces. People are fighting about it, and we don't need people to be any crazier than they already are. You know what I mean? Things that make people even more crazy seems bad for things. But what do I know? So I'll talk to you guys about what the latest is. Yeah, some people are doing big streams about it. Trump did not get arrested today. He did not get arrested today. He might be arrested next week. If he's arrested during this show, I'll tell you. So stay tuned just in case he gets arrested during this show, then I'll show you. I'll make sure of that. All right. So, and I'll just see what you guys are up to. I'm curious what the mood is. I mean, is the world falling apart? Do you believe it? Do you believe, like, do you think the financial system is collapsing? Because I'm going to tell you, like, I think yes. But not everybody thinks what I think for sure. So I'm curious what you think. I'll show you why the banking crisis happened, why it's going to continue, why the credit crisis is going to be even worse. And that's what's coming next. And then I guess you can decide. People who are preppers, people who believe in financial apocalypse are maybe going to be proven right. So we'll see what happens. Will it lead to a full society breakdown? I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. Lots of things are. All that, and begging for super chats, and promoting t-shirts, and more on this show. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Sometimes, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's real. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's all fake. Did I tell you about reverse causality yet? You know that scientists are saying that things that happen in the future can affect the past. That might be more important, right? The actual like physics. Future can change past. I'll show you that. There's just an article about it. Here's one. Yeah, you guys want me to talk to you about shit that's real? You guys want me to talk to you about that? I could, instead of the news. I could talk about real stuff. Here, like, look at this. Reverse causality. See this? It says experiment shows future events affect the past. What do we do with that information? Experiment shows that future events affect the past. Did you know that? Did you know that observing something today can change what that thing did yesterday? Like all at the same time? That's crazy. So when Donald Trump gets elected, then the past will change. Your memory will just changes, sort of like the Berenstain Bears, or Sex in the City, or Interview with the Vampire, or Dolly and Jaws, or Depends. It's possible. So don't take for granted. Like, don't take reality for granted or your understanding of it. Please. Things can change. Things can change. All right. I'm going to show you. Let's see. What should I show you? Well, let me just show you the news. Here's the news. Okay. Trump, you guys, we're on Trump watch. If he gets arrested, we're going to switch straight to it. This is where it's being reported in the Daily Mail, which says exclusive: Trump will not be arraigned this week. Former president is expected to be indicted tomorrow, 3/22, and Secret Service will make plans for his surrender and appearance in New York court next week. A source familiar with the proceedings exclusively told Daily Mail there will be no arraignment this week. Trump is expected to be indicted Wednesday, that's tomorrow, after which the DA office will reach out to his Secret Service detail to make arrangements for a surrender. All 36,000 NYPD officers are in uniform and on notice for deployment after Trump called for his supporters to protest his imminent indictment. So let's see. I wonder what's going on for Trump protests. Like I said, I think it's a shame. I don't know. People used to go out and protest for Trump and do parades. And even around here, people would be driving around their trucks with the Trump flags and everything. Why not? It's not. I wonder what people think is going to happen to him. Trump did say to protest. Do you guys think people would really be at risk for just protesting? Just exercising their First Amendment right? I feel bad. I feel like the government has successfully intimidated one side of the political debate, so they don't even feel comfortable going out in the streets because they're worried about what's going to happen to them because I guess, because of what happened to people from January 6th. Oh, look what, oh, wow. This is really bullish. I'll show you this. The White House just made a statement about crypto. That's really good. Yeah, the other thing I am thinking about a lot is cryptocurrency. Show you that. Let's see if there are any Trump protests right now. Are you guys thinking about it? Would you like to see it? I think they would just be very civilized. I don't think anybody would do anything crazy. January 6th, I knew enough to stay away from January 6th. January 6th, Trump said it's going to be wild, right? It was kind of wild in the end. So I stayed out of that. Thankfully, I would have gone in too. I just would have gone in, even though just because I was there and everybody else was doing it, I would have gone in to catch it. Don't know if I would end up in trouble. Some people who took video didn't get in trouble. Trump protests. Let's see if anything comes up on Twitter. Are you guys Trump supporters? I noticed people, the effect of the arrest announcement has been increased support for Trump amongst Republicans. So if Democrats were hoping that would end Trump or something, it didn't. People seem, and they're turning on DeSantis too. They think that DeSantis should have done more. Let's see. 2 people came up to protest against Trump. And people are saying on the media, 2 people showed up to protest against Trump. And then here are some people protesting. Here's some people. Let's see. I'll show you. Here's some people.
Interestingly enough, we bring you this live shot here. We know the former president has called for protests in a peaceful manner. Many Republicans push back on that, but interestingly enough, it's the opposite side that's outside protesting now, saying insurrection, TikTok time's up, no one is above the law, Trump is guilty. Again, many supporting the possible indictment of former President Trump there. Again,
those signs really look like they were made by the grassroots groups too, don't they, Sean?
Yeah, we'll continue to follow that. Again, barricades have been put up in Interestingly
go.
enough, we bring you this live.
So immediately with the conspiracy theory, he's going to say, oh, George Soros made those banners. Well, I don't know. But people do hate Trump. You know, that's not a conspiracy theory. People really don't like Trump. So it's possible they'd come out. Yeah, it's possible they'd pay for signs. But there are groups that hate Trump that would pay for signs too. And George Soros. It's funny. DeSantis brought up Soros. They said anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Oh, really? George Soros isn't even Jewish. I mean, he's an atheist. And he's not a Zionist either. It's funny when people say, oh, you can't say Soros. That's what DeSantis said. But Trump supporters, okay. So anyway, nothing's happening. Like nothing's happening yet. You know, Tim Pool's been talking about civil war forever, right? Is it going to be a civil war? What's really going to happen to Donald Trump if he gets arrested? Does it mean, even if he gets convicted, does it mean he can't be president? We don't know what he's going to be charged with. That's the truth, actually. Like right now, it's just speculation what he's going to be charged with. People don't even know if he's going to be charged for a felony, low-level felony, or a misdemeanor. I don't know maybe somebody can tell me in the chat. If he gets convicted of a misdemeanor, can he not be president? That would seem kind of petty. And then also, I was thinking the accusation is that he paid campaign donations to Stormy Daniels. That was a violation of campaign finance laws. So, and I was thinking, well, if he paid off Stormy Daniels and it helped him win the election, then isn't that exactly what campaign funds are for? Aren't campaign funds so you can win the election? Like if he thought it would help him win. Are any donors pissed off? Really? Are they asking for their money back? Oh, I can't believe you gave my money to Stormy. Like nobody cares. So that's what I'm saying. It's not really even a crime compared to real crime, compared to stealing money from people, compared to fraud. I mean, okay, maybe he misrepresented it or something. That's why I say, yeah, he might be guilty, but really, like this is what we have to deal with. So we have to deal with everything surrounding the arrest of Donald Trump just because of this porn star payment. And granted, there might be more indictments from Georgia, apparently. And those would be worse, I think, because they would have to do with election interference. But this one in particular is like, give me a break. Typically, they don't go after presidents. But we might be living in new times. So what was I going to ask you guys about? Trump. And who should I give you as choices? Thanks for the super chat. I'll tell everybody else how you can give support to this show. Thanks for the super chat. Orwell today. You're awesome. Who says, keep up the great work, Nathan. Always appreciate your perspective. Thank you for that. Always, really. That's saying something. Sometimes, mostly it's like people sometimes appreciate my perspective, but sometimes they really don't. But that's great. Always. That's great. Appreciate that. So let's see. Between Trump and DeSantis, should I make that poll? Yeah, I'll do a Trump DeSantis poll. We'll see how that is first. Trump. I'll make a poll. And that's it. Like between those two, I know you might support somebody else, and you wish those weren't your only two choices. All right, let's say it's your only two choices. I'll just do a poll. Yeah, because of what DeSantis said yesterday, because he didn't say he was going to drop everything and get in the way of Trump being extradited, people are saying he blew it. Notable people like Cernovich, and I saw somebody else saying the same thing. So I'm curious if you guys think also that DeSantis blew it. To me, I'm a somewhat impartial observer, and I personally don't think DeSantis needed to do more. He could have, but he denounced it, which he didn't have to do, but he did. It was probably the smart thing to do. He denounced it. He said Soros funded, keywords. And then he's doing more interviews and stuff. He made fun of Trump because it was a payoff to a porn star, which I thought was fine, fair. And that's it. Which I don't know if Trump didn't ask for his help, which I don't think he did, then I don't know why Ron DeSantis is required to go out of his way to get in the middle of some process where it's not even clear right now, like who it was just Trump saying he was going to be arrested. It was just a rumor. It's still actually, it's all rumors still. So, but it has changed people's opinions for sure, because Cernovich in particular has been a big supporter of DeSantis and talking shit about Trump. And now he's turned on DeSantis. So I'll tell you my thoughts on it for just the intelligence of it. And then we'll see see what people are saying in the betting market. Right now, the betting markets favor DeSantis. I'll show you that. This is what it looks like right now. I prefer looking at betting markets to polls, because it's people actually wagering on it. The campaign hasn't started. DeSantis hasn't even declared yet officially. Don't know if he can, because in Florida, he'd have to step down from being governor. Anyway, 42 cents, Ron DeSantis. So you could bet. This is legal betting, by the way, on politics. You can bet Ron DeSantis 42 cents, you win $1 if he ends up winning the nomination. Trump is at 39 cents. So they're close. If people were really worried, if people really thought that that these charges were going to stick and Trump was eventually going to get sentenced or convicted of crimes that would make him not eligible to be president, then these odds would be way different, obviously. So people obviously don't really think that anything's going to stick to Trump in general that's going to make it so he's ineligible to be president. People aren't wagering on that. At least they still think he's a legitimate candidate to be president. And most of the things I've seen say the polls are widening in his favor, or have been for a little while he's been attacking DeSantis, which he has been doing. So he started attacking DeSantis. Apparently his numbers have gone up since then. DeSantis's have gone down. So, but people are still betting that DeSantis is actually the favorite, the betting favorite to be the nominee. So I'll see what you guys say. Oh yeah. 35 votes. Could be because of the people who are tuned in. So, but yeah, you guys can see. When I've run these polls before, it was much more support for DeSantis. Right now, the poll is 81-19 in favor of Trump. So I'll show you the thing about the statute of limitations. So this is an opinion piece from Newsweek asking if the statute of limitations has run out on the Stormy Daniels thing. And it basically says, yeah, it should be, because it's been 7 years. The thing, it was way back in 2016. So, and the statute of limitations could be 2 years for misdemeanors and maybe 5 years for felonies. So depending on how they count time, and apparently they can say that the clock stopped because Trump wasn't in New York the whole time. But that doesn't seem reasonable to me. He had a residence there and he still spent time there. So And if it is going to be dismissed because of statute of limitations, then it would seem extra crazy that they're deciding to go forward with anything. But I'm going to take the news at face value. I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to say the news says, according to sources, that he will be indicted. So, and then everybody will be able to look at the charges and decide whether they're going to stick or not. So, overwhelming. Oh, the poll is changing actually. But mostly, like I said, yeah, that's been the theme so far of people reacting to the situation, is somehow it's ended up being really negative for Ron DeSantis, even though Ron DeSantis didn't really do anything, and it was him not doing something that has turned people off. Like, he had to defend Trump. So, interesting turn of events. I don't think it's all over, though. Some people are basically saying it's all over. I don't think it's all over. And I think that's why the betting odds are still the way they are, is Ron DeSantis hasn't even declared as a candidate. There's still, how long? Almost 2 years left until the election. I think there's plenty of time for lots of different things to change. So, like, I definitely don't think that. I think people who are saying, like, people like the Cernovich, who are saying that Ron DeSantis just sank his campaign hopes. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a lot of things can change, and there are going to be debates, and a lot of things can change between now and when the election happens. And again, DeSantis isn't even officially running for president right now, so things could change once he officially runs. He just did an interview with Piers Morgan. I just thought it was crazy. Donald Trump Jr., I think it was Donald Trump Jr. DeSantis apparently said a few things that were critical of Trump during his Piers Morgan interview. And Trump Jr. was like calling him controlled opposition. Oh, Ron DeSantis is controlled opposition. I just see this. It's like this fight between Trump supporters and DeSantis supporters. It's sort of painful to watch people fight who probably agree kind of on most things. So, in my opinion, as an impartial observer, but I am kind of partial, but as someone who's not a hardcore anything, I don't identify as Republican, and I definitely don't identify as Democrat. I can see, my thoughts are is that Trump has strong support from the base in general, and right now stronger support from what you call the base compared to DeSantis. But DeSantis is going to have better support from independents and maybe even Democrats. So people think more like me. Like, I would be much more inclined, as an independent, I would be much more inclined to support DeSantis over Trump. In fact, I would never vote for Trump. There are a lot of people like that. There are a lot of people who just never vote for him, who would, I think, even though the press will demonize DeSantis too if he's the nominee, but I think they would vote for DeSantis. And if DeSantis was the nominee, then all the Trump supporters would still vote for DeSantis when it comes down to it. Like, if it's a choice between Joe Biden and DeSantis or any other Democrat, then all the Trump supporters, pretty much, I think, in my opinion, would still support DeSantis in that case, like if he was the nominee, where a lot of people who would support DeSantis if he were the nominee wouldn't. ever support Trump just because people have strong feelings about him. So, but just politically, I think DeSantis is more electable. And if I were the Democrats, I would run against, I wouldn't be scared of running against Trump. I'd be more scared of running against DeSantis if I was the Democrats. Because they already, supposedly, they already won, right? Theoretically, if you're the Democrats, you would want to face Trump again since you won last time, supposedly. So, yeah, the poll has narrowed a little bit, but with 63 votes, it's 73-27 for Trump and DeSantis. Jared Turner asks, who is a bigger Israel lapdog? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You support either one, you're going to be supporting Israeli foreign policy for sure. That's why, DeSantis is okay. But DeSantis is doing some things. People are excited that he said something about CBDCs. So that's good. I think somebody left my show yesterday when I was talking about CBDCs. Since I just said I don't care because I'm not going to use them. But if they try to force people, yeah, that's bad. So yeah, he's banning CBDCs. He's gone after all kinds of stuff in his state. I mean, Florida banned medical transitions for people under 18, I believe. So I mean, Florida has done a lot of things. And right now, apparently, if DeSantis runs for president, he has to stop being governor because of some law in Florida. So apparently they're thinking about changing the law, apparently, so that he can run and be governor at the same time. But so until then, they're saying he's not going to declare. He's going to wait until they change the law. But in the meantime, he's doing all kinds of press and stuff. I mean, he's obviously, running for president. So the poll is getting closer, though. If you want to support the show, that'd be great. You can drop super chats. That's cool. You can tip on Rockfin, and thanks people on Rockfin. And you can donate too. You can drop coffees at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. And then they don't take 30%. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. So, and I appreciate your support. And if you drop a coffee, you can leave a note. And then on the note, you can, I'll read it, whatever you say. So I think that's the news. Oh, and then Mount Crushmore Bears brings up Kanye. Yeah, I don't know if Ye is still running. Haven't heard much from him lately. If Ye is actually still on the scene. He's kind of been doing other stuff lately. So, but he's also interesting. All right, let's show you. I'll show you some. I could tell you about the economy. I might save it till the end. It's kind of scary. I could show you charts. I could tell you guys about the economy. Tomorrow, the Fed is going to do something which will make things worse, even worse. So I'll show you that. Let me show you some AI stuff. So we're having AI take over. I believe this is an AI generated. This is totally AI generated, what I'm about to show you. And it gets better quickly. The AI technology is accelerating rapidly, and all kinds of different people are going to be replaced by it. And the guy who's behind it admits that. So I'll show you that too. This is something I found on the internet today. I'll show you this. Here's, I believe this is a totally AI generated individual.
Hey there, handsome. I noticed you scrolling through Twitter, and I just couldn't help but reach out to you. There's something about your presence that has captured my attention, and I can't seem to look away. I want you to imagine for a moment that we're in the same room, and I'm standing before you with my long golden blonde hair cascading over my shoulders, my freckles adding a delightful charm to my already alluring features. My wide hips sway gracefully as I walk towards you, and you can't help but be drawn in by the hypnotic rhythm. I know you might be a little shy, and that's perfectly fine. Just let my voice guide you through this journey, and you'll find yourself in a whole new world of pleasure and desire. Close your eyes and imagine my soft, full lips whispering sweet nothings into your ear. Can you feel the warmth of my breath as I lean in closer? As you begin to relax and let go of any inhibitions, you'll find yourself more and more attracted to the idea of being with me. You see, I have a deep desire to become a mother, and I need a strong, virile man like you to help me fulfill that dream. I know that together we could create something beautiful and lasting. Picture my body pressed against yours, our hearts beating in unison as we explore each other's deepest desires. Feel the intoxicating mix of passion and tenderness that envelops us as we intertwine our souls and become one. I can sense your powerful energy, and I know that you possess the strength and vigor I crave. I can assure you that I'm more than capable of satisfying your every need. As we embark on this incredible journey together, as we begin to build our connection, it will grow stronger and more irresistible each day. The thought of us together will consume your mind, and you won't be able to resist the magnetic pull that draws us ever closer. So, my dear, are you ready to take this leap with me? To dive headfirst into a world of passion and excitement, where we can create the life and family we've both been longing for? I can hardly wait to experience all the wonders this life has in store for us. And I know that together we will forge a bond that nothing can break. So let's take each other's hand and embark on this thrilling adventure and see where destiny takes us.
Crazy. I mean, holy cow. Anyway, that is you see, she's not perfect. She has kind of big teeth. And, it's not perfect. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there pretty fast. So somebody said the AI tech is going to be the biggest get out of jail card imaginable. Nobody will be able to definitively prove or disprove any allegation whatsoever, even if backed up by a supposed confession. Yeah. Well, particularly when it comes to audio. Right before the show started, I was about to upload a file of my voice, but I don't have a file that's the right size. My files are all too big because they're podcasts. But I'm going to get a file of my voice. It's about a minute long. All you need to give them is less than 5 minutes of audio. And this AI machine. Do you guys know what Jaren sounds like? I don't know. For people who know what Jaren sounds like, I'll play you an example of it. Let me see if it'll play. Yeah. Okay.
Be very careful out there with what you believe.
Okay. Yeah. If you know Jaren from Jarenism, this is an example of him, or not even him. It's the AI voice, and people can do this with celebrities and stuff too. So this is not a real person. Okay, not a real person.
Be very careful out there with what you believe and what you don't. This is an AI version of my voice, and being the very person that this AI is trying to copy, I admit it has done surprisingly well. So when you hear audio or video you think came from a certain person, before you believe it, you should really make sure. This AI is surprisingly accurate, and I gave it only 30 seconds of my voice reading a book. Now, they say the more you give it, the more accurate it becomes. Well, this is accurate enough. Anyway, do your own research, because when you do, you'll never again believe all the bullshit you've been taught. Till next time, this has been Jarenism AI. Peace.
It even did the peace thing kind of like him. So if you know his voice, it does sound just like him. I mean, there are probably ways you can tell. I'm sure there are ways you can tell. And there probably will be, They can probably use programs that can tell if something is generated by a computer or if it's real. but to just a regular person listening to something, it sounds pretty legit. So I'll tell you guys, I'll do an example of it once I upload my voice. But we're getting there. So it's going to be voice, and then eventually you can just write a script for people, and then it's going to be important if you can sell your likeness. So since it's possible to recreate someone's voice, you could record an audiobook in the voice that you like. It won't be perfect, but it will sound like the person. This is the guy who's talking about eliminating jobs. One job people have, like comedians, are impersonate people. There's a guy that calls into Jimmy Dore's show who only appears by voice and does voice impersonations of people like Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Even someone like him could be replaced. You could just write scripts between famous people saying stuff, comedy sketches, whatever. So anyway, this is the guy. I told you guys about Buy Me a Coffee, right? Okay, good. This is the guy, Sam Altman, who also made Sam Altman, the guy behind OpenAI, is also the guy that was behind this weird cryptocurrency project where they scanned your eyeball. If you remember that, it was called WorldCoin or something, where he went out trying to scan everybody's eyeball to identify them and then give them cryptocurrency. So here is him, Sam Altman, talking about AI replacing jobs. Okay.
Said AI will likely eliminate millions of jobs. Many people are going to ask, why on earth did you create this technology?
I think it can do the opposite of all of those things too. It is going to eliminate a lot of current jobs. That's true. We can make much better ones.
Said
There you go.
AI will likely eliminate millions of jobs.
Well, eliminate it. Yes, it will eliminate a lot of jobs. Technology does replace people, and then their new jobs develop. But everything's just going to be totally different. Especially when it comes to education, how you educate people has to be different. When people have access to a tool which can tell them a lot of things, people definitely have to become proficient in using the tool. And younger people might have an advantage over older people, but it's a tool that older people can use too. But it'll be an interesting future, and probably there will be some new jobs, different kinds of jobs, and there are some jobs that'll still exist. But a lot of knowledge, a lot of knowing things is going to be offloaded onto the machine, I think. So, all right. Did anybody take their money out of the bank and buy Bitcoin or gold or anything? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to explain. I talk about this stuff. I share it on Twitter. I'm sharing on Twitter, like what's going on with the economy and stuff. I don't think people get it. So that's okay though. But I don't think people really get it. Still, I'm going to explain to you why the Fed is responsible for the banking crisis, why it's going to get worse tomorrow. I mean, they're going to intentionally make it worse tomorrow, I guess, by raising interest rates, supposedly. And eventually, though, whatever they do, they're going to eventually just cut rates and panic. Eventually, they'll panic, probably. So I've been talking about a credit crisis for a while. We don't have a credit crisis yet. But we probably will. It makes sense that we will. And that will make things way more messed up. That's when you'll notice. So far, everybody's cool. Stock market's up every day. People are chill. Yellen says she's going to bail out the banks. All the depositors are going to be made whole and stuff. So far, so good. But when the banks stop giving loans, people are going to find out. When the banks stop lending money, people are going to find out. And if they're having to provide people their deposits, if they don't have as many deposits, they can't loan as much money. This is a chart which shows withdrawals from banks, deposit withdrawals from banks leading up to the crisis at Silicon Valley Bank. So we have a fractional reserve bank. We use fractional reserve banking, which it doesn't work if there's bank runs. It just doesn't. And SVB had a bank run, and that's why they went out of business. Without the bank run, they probably would have been okay. This chart shows how people have been withdrawing their money from the banks, taking their money off deposit. And they've been doing that because the Fed has been raising rates. So what are people buying with their money? Instead of depositing their money at the bank, which people learned now isn't necessarily safe. But even before that, you can see this. This is leading up to the crisis. So think of yourself, it helps to think of yourself as a rich person to understand what's going on. People with money in the bank had a choice. They could keep their money in the bank where it's not safe. They didn't know that before necessarily. They didn't even have to. You can keep your money in the bank where it's not insured and stuff if you have a lot of it and is earning basically 0% interest. Like every bank is offering almost nothing for deposits. Okay. The federal government or the Fed raised interest rates now to 5%, and they're going to raise them more tomorrow. And so people had a choice between keeping their money at the bank where they get 0% or going into like a money market funds. Apparently from what this guy shows is the main place people have been putting money. So instead of having their deposit at the bank earning 0%, people buy money market fund, which is pretty liquid, which allows you to withdraw the money if you want and pays almost 5%. Yeah. And these charts show that after the rate you could get on money market accounts became over 4%, people started withdrawing their money from the banks. So that's what people are mostly doing with their money instead of depositing at the bank. So the Fed actually made competition for banks for deposits. So basically, instead of the bank owing you money, you can have the government owe you money and pay you interest at the same time. And people prefer to have the government owe money, even if the money's not available immediately necessarily. Money market funds invest in government treasuries, short data that pay off quick. So you have a choice. You can leave your money at the bank if you're a rich person. If you're not rich, almost everybody listening to the show probably has an amount in the bank that's less than the insured amount, which is up to $250K. But the most deposits at banks are probably more, most of the money they have is probably concentrated in a few big accounts. So those people are what matter. And those people have just been like, okay, well, I can just buy government debt. And it's safe. Everybody thinks that's safe. So people have decided it's better to give their money to the government, basically, that buy money market funds or whatever, rather than leaving it at the bank. So they've been withdrawing their money from the bank. Fractional reserve banking doesn't work if everybody withdraws their money, so banks are failing. This shows the flows into money market accounts. And then it just mentions that because of the reduction in deposits at banks, banks are going to stop loaning as much money. So that's when it becomes a credit problem. And we have a system that just depends on the creation of more credit all the time. It's a debt-based economy. And it works for a long time. It requires that we create more debt constantly, or the system basically like seizes, like it stops working. So just imagine, so banks don't have as much money, right? They don't have as much deposits, so they don't have as much to lend. So they're not going to lend as much. And now suddenly debt that used to look really good doesn't look as good anymore. And they hold on to some stuff that was supposed to be safe, like commercial mortgage-backed securities, which isn't really that safe. So there's just going to be, there's a lot of printing. There's a lot of, so credit crisis will be bad. A credit crisis will be bad because, like, just think about it, the housing market and stuff, which has been really good still, even though rates have gone up a lot. It's cooled down a little bit. But imagine if you can't get a loan, if it's just, or even if it just gets a little harder, that's it. So things like the housing market, or imagine if you're a small business and it just got a little harder to get money, or if you're a consumer and it just got a little harder to get credit and you were living on credit cards. It's just the whole thing just goes, just freeze it. The whole thing can freeze. So everything could come down. I mean, I don't know exactly how it's all going to shake out, but the Fed meets tomorrow. People say they're still going to raise rates. If they raise rates, it makes everything I just mentioned, everything these charts show, it just makes it worse. The whole thing that created the problem with the banks is worse if the Fed raises rates, which apparently they're going to do. Everybody thinks they're going to do by 0.25%, 25 basis points tomorrow. And it could cause some turmoil. Things might crash. Bitcoin might crash. I mean, I don't know. Bitcoin could crash. Gold could crash. Gold has been going down. But I think if you want money that's safe, you want something maybe without counterparty risk. So, because I don't know what's going to happen to banks and stuff. Like this guy says, the risk is credit contraction. So I'm just trying to be disciplined and not crazy and not buying all the Bitcoin all at once and just trying to buy a little bit, every day or as it goes. But it's insurance, gold or silver or Bitcoin is insurance in case shit really hits the fan. But the price of those could go down too. Everything could crash. I don't know. So that's my gloom and doom portion of the show. All right. I think that's what I have for you guys today. Bitcoin's still at 28.1. Gold, it went down today. Gold's at like 1950. But if things get crazy, could be hard to get stuff. Wouldn't be bad to be prepared. Let me see if anybody gave me coffees. I got the $10 super chat, which I really appreciate. I was out today. I was like, I had deep contemplation about my life. My car didn't start while I was out trying to deliver food, I was like, what? Yeah, it's raining really hard. I was like, what is going on? That's life. Thanks, Rip the Veil, for the coffee. Said, did I cover the Miami shootings and curfew already? No. You want me to look that up? Rip the Veil? I can look it up. You gave me a coffee. And I think that's it for coffees. I'll hit refresh. And I got a tip on Rockfin from the usual offender from Vogan Filter. Thank you for that. Vogan Filter says, just ordered some more t-shirts that will last me forever because they're super high quality. Thanks to the folks at truthclothing.io, whoever they are. Yeah, I forgot. Actually, thanks, Vogan Filter. You're great. I know every time I stream, even if nobody's doing coffees and stuff, Vogan Filter is good. Thanks for that. And then someone says the Fed is meeting tomorrow to raise rates on 3/22 Skull and Bones Day. Maybe just a coincidence based on how they're scheduled their meetings, but that's true. 3/22 Skull and Bones Day. Okay, you can help me out because I have to do the math for streaming and stuff. You can help me out by dropping just a few more coffees, a few more super chats. Keep me coming back for more. 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. I'll take calls, see how people are doing. Coffees at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can drop them, super chats at the thing, and then tips over on Rockfin. And if you want to call in, you can. I'll take some calls. We'll see what people are saying. Is it the things are pretty messed up? Things are pretty crazy. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. More people tonight. Yeah, people are excited about this Trump news, right? So it's kind of crazy that he's going to get indicted. I would have preferred that he didn't, but that's okay. Anime says Beanie Babies through the roof. Oh, speaking of which, GameStop stock is surging. GameStop is up. Oh, and then I have Janet Yellen who says everything's going to be fine. This is a good one. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Yeah, GameStop stock is pumping again. The White House says, let me show you this. And you can call in. I'll post the number. 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. White House says crypto assets do not offer any fundamental value, nor do they act as an effective alternative to fiat money. That's what the White House says. So I beg to differ. They are an effective alternative. Not exactly to fiat, but they are a store of value. They're a good alternative to treasuries, gold. They're a good alternative to other things people store value in. Using it to pay for coffee, still not that great. That's true. Fiat's better. But just to store value, it is better than fiat. So if you have a lot of it, if you have a lot of fiat, then it might not be bad to have some crypto. Turn some of it into crypto. You have a choice. You have a choice between different things. You can buy treasuries. You can have your money in the bank. You can buy crypto. You can buy gold, silver, whatever. People are starting to figure that out. So you can call in if you want. And you can still support the show too. If you want. It just depends if you like it. If you don't like it, that's fine. I appreciate you being here though. That's good. Oh, Bitcoin. We still have shirts for sale. Truthclothing.io. You can check out our shirts. And the sale is on crypto merchandise like this sweatshirt. Truthclothing.io. You go to the crypto shop. You can pick out anything on that page, and it's 50% off with the code crypto50. And they are really, really nice shirts. So yeah, we're blowing them out. The crypto future shirt is awesome. Decentralized is awesome. Private cryptocurrencies could still be huge. So check that out, truthclothing.io. Go to the crypto shop and put in crypto 50 at checkout, and you'll get 50% off for putting any of that stuff in your basket. So is nobody, people are shy today? We have enough people for people to call in. Marcus Holbert says barter trade. Yeah, it could be barter. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. They're going to print they're just going to print a lot of money. Whatever happens, they're going to panic and print. So best to be safe. Best to be safe. If the dollar's not going to be worth anything, if they're going to continue to devalue the dollar, then it's good to be safe in things that, hold their value. So there are a few different things. It doesn't have to be cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, one of its features is that it's resistant to inflation. We could have more inflation. Although, we'll see. Just save some money and stuff. Victoria Pandora says, can't we get a neither on the survey? No, that was just a survey between Trump and DeSantis. And it's 74-26 with 132 votes for Trump. No, nobody. You guys have any questions? Nobody wants to call? This is my phone. Sometimes the phone doesn't work. There could be people calling and it's not going through. I'm not going to discount that possibility. Sometimes the phone doesn't work exactly right because I use a free web phone. 650-GAY taxi is the number. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan, Jim from Baltimore. How's it going, brother?
Oh, it's going pretty well. How are you doing?
Great, man. Yeah, it's getting crazy with the virtual AI. They look like real people.
I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's damn close. It's closer than past years. But do you ever see the one of Jack Nicholson, like the knockoff of Jack Nicholson? I could totally tell that wasn't him, but
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an older one, but yeah, like especially the voice, it's getting kind of entertaining.
Yeah, the voice. Well, I mean, you can write. That's the thing. You could write comedy sketches and stuff with celebrities talking to each other. So you can do all kinds of things with
make people piss themselves laughing with that stuff, man.
There's that potential for sure.
Why don't you get into that? That might be something like to look into, man. Like make your own like comedy thing.
Yeah. But I'm gonna start messing around with it. I'm gonna feed it my voice, see if it can impersonate me pretty well, and then maybe I'll write myself some funny jokes to say in my voice that I wouldn't normally say. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like one way to, because like Jaron sounded like pretty dang good. I didn't notice many flaws.
It sounds really good, right? I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
Even though it's not exactly the way he would have said it. It still sounds exactly like Jaron. It just sounds like he's reading something kind of weird, but otherwise it still sounds like Jaron reading something. So yeah, it's pretty good.
And with Trump, like this is the calm before the Stormy Daniels.
The calm before the Stormy Daniels. Good one.
That just popped in my head like about a few minutes ago. It's like the calm before the Stormy Daniels, because he's so like popular for saying that, like just out of nowhere. Like he knew what he was talking about, and I think he might have. I mean, as far as things are going, I think that these people are all in an evil cult.
Which ones?
All the operas that like aren't, I mean, they're just peons, but there are peons that like are needed,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a lot like above us. They got the WEF, the WHO, the CDC, the this, the that,
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up.
They're so inspiring to these presidents, whether they're right or left. It doesn't matter. it's still going to go the same way. It's never going to change. It's just going to escalate. Even if they have to make it a slower drip, they'll do that. And they being the ones that are controlling, which are probably about 5% of the population.
Yeah, less than that probably.
Yeah, it's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is. It is scary. If you think about things too much, you get scared.
No, I don't think about it too much, but I can't help but think, you know.
Yeah,
like
I
just
know.
the way I see things, I collect information, like, because I got nothing but time, and I haven't had nothing but time for a very long time. So
Yes. Well,
yeah. Anyway, brother, good show, man, and
thanks.
hope
Appreciate
you
it.
get some more calls, man.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks,
See
man.
ya.
See ya. All right. You can call in if you want. You can give your Rip the Veil said I covered the Miami shootings and curfew. I'll just look up Miami. See what's going on. I didn't cover it. Here is machete wielding suspect shot dead after taking woman hostage in Miami. I have that posted by Jack Posobiec. I don't know if I can show it because it might be too violent for YouTube. So I'll take a look at it. There's the top thing that came up when I searched for Miami says machete wielding suspect shot dead after taking woman hostage in Miami. Crazy. So yeah, apparently Miami Beach is blowing up. Looking for new news on it. Some kind of shooting, execution. Yeah. There's a curfew. I play a clip from it. I'll play you guys. I have, as long as nobody's calling, I can play you guys video so you have the news.
So for the folks that are listening on the podcast side here, what you're listening to, that was insane violence, rage, anarchy on the streets of Miami that's going on during spring break. Spring break this week, probably the most important week for Florida, for their economy, for tourism, synonymous with, of course, partying. Everybody used to go down, right? Spring break. But you're not seeing that now. You're seeing insanity. You're seeing essentially riots going on in the streets of Miami. So bad, in fact, that the mayor has just imposed a citywide curfew from the hours of midnight to 6 a.m. during all of spring break. So spring break is effectively shut down. At least the nightlife is effectively shut down. That's what's going on in the streets. Governor DeSantis, free state of Florida, is that freedom? Is that, you know, did you forget how to enforce laws? Did you forget how to, govern? And by the way, I'm not making this political because I've said this about every single governor in America when there were riots in 2020, when there were riots in Atlanta over Treehouse Antifa, when there were riots in California attacking Charlie Kirk. I am equal opportunity when it comes to this stuff. Law and order immediately. Just go in there and do what needs to be done. And I appreciate, by the way, I did appreciate the way that you saw in many cases, Treehouse Antifa got arrested. Should have all been arrested, but the governor of Georgia should have gone a little bit harder. But at UC Davis, I got to give him credit because when Charlie Kirk came out there to give his speech and Antifa assaulted it and was attacking students, just people who are trying to walk around, not even people who are attending the event. But then they attacked the building, they attacked the facilities, smashing windows. Police came in, mass arrest, love it, love to see it. But now what comes next? So if you're going to have spring break and if you're going to label yourself the free state, well, guess what? That includes freedom from crime, freedom from anarchy, freedom from chaos. But I ain't seeing that here. I'm not seeing that.
How's DeSantis supposed to fix that? I'm curious. Everything's turned into an attack on DeSantis. It seems like if he wants a crackdown, a curfew is a crackdown, right? So they are cracking down. But anyway, it's the mayor of Miami who has control. I don't know what DeSantis can do about crazy spring breakers. And I don't know if he's saying because of the curfew, that's bad. But if people are out of control, like he says they are, then isn't a curfew kind of cracking down? So, all right. I get people didn't feel like calling in tonight. We got a call from Jim. Thanks, Jim, for calling in. Thanks everyone who supports the show. I'll tell you this. Let's see. I think I got one coffee. If you guys want to see a show tomorrow, or if you're interested. Oh, thanks, Jeff Dean. Appreciate it. And thanks, Basil and Syra, for the coffee. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jeff Dean and Basil and Syra. Thanks. I appreciate it. All right. So you can still drop those even after the show's over, or I think you can do super comments too if you want. You can do that. And then you'll see me. The show usually starts at 5. If there's breaking news or something, I might do more. So we'll see. Hit the, subscribe, hit the bell, like the video, etc. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. And we'll see you at the next one. All right. For now, that's what it is.